All right, you know I'm here for this. You know I am here for this. Concord is a colossal failure. I think we knew this before the game even launched. I think, what did it hit? Like 700 players on Steam, which is insane when you think. I think Redfall hit like 7K players, which another absolute critical failure of a game. But damn, man, 700 players on Steam is insane. Let's check it out. More Big Fry. It's his second channel, actually, guys. You should go check him out. Like watching a bit of Big Fry. Let's see what he's got to say.
So Concord has just launched on Steam on Friday. I'm recording this a day later.
It's been a whole mess. Devs even calling out people for being talentless freaks. You know, if you criticize this game, you're just a talentless freak, you know? What do you know, man? You're a fucking idiot. You don't like the game? Go fuck yourself.
And, It ain't looking good. Now, if you were to look at the Steam page for the game, obviously it launched on PlayStation and...
Oh, yeah, as well, apparently. I don't know how true it is. I don't know when this was. Apparently, they were saying that they'd removed the tags because they got LGBTQ plus tags and political tags or something like that, and they were removed. I don't know how true that is because looking at this page here, it's still got a politics and politicals. Like, what the hell? Why are they even, like, tags that are used for this product? I don't understand. Oh, they're user tags. Okay. User-defined tags. Okay, so I guess people have probably put that in. I don't know exactly how that works. Yeah, apparently that was from the dev side of things. I'm not too sure on that. Just saw that bouncing around on Twitter. It's kind of weird.
The PC, you'd see, you know, mostly positive review score. Hey, it's sitting pretty good. You know, 257 reviews. It's kind of not a lot. But then you go into it, and a lot of people are having...
It's got 257 reviews. That's kind of interesting considering that it seemed like it peaked at around 700 players after release. Let me just double check. We're going to have a look. Okay, yeah. So, all-time peak 2 days ago, according to SteamDB, 697 players, 24-hour peak of 473, and 278 players playing right now on a Sunday, which is not great for a weekend. No, well, not great. That's an understatement. So how the hell has there been so many reviews that are mostly positive considering there was only that many people at the peak? That's a large percentage of the people who were playing have decided to put a review in. Insanely large percentage. Almost like maybe it might not be true.
Having fun with it. And this is what I said in my last video on my main channel. The game is polished and it has a core gameplay loop that I think a lot of people might find fun. But the big problem here is that, I mean, for Canadians, it's...
Yep, exactly. Like, the game, look, when I first saw the actual teaser for the game, I was like, hey, this doesn't look bad. I'd play this. But the game, quintessentially, is a free-to-play game. Like, the way it's designed, what it is, it's a free-to-play game. It should be free-to-play. You know, stick in some microtransactions, have a battle pass, go at it with whatever you want to do in that regards. But with the competition that this game's got, the idea that it's coming in at like 40 quid, 50 Canadian dollars, 40 US dollars, whatever it is, the fact that it's a premium game, it's just insane. It was destined to die, at least on Steam anyway. It was destined. This game has to go free to play. And I said before it launched, I reckon within 6 months, maybe the latest 12 months, this game will go free to play, unless it's just a hill that Sony and the developers decide to die on, and they're like, you know what, we're not going to show that this failed, we're not going free to play. I really think the game should have potentially been delayed, maybe had some work done on it, go for some new marketing, and then launch free to play. Yeah, but I just can't see this game staying as a premium game and continue the content that they were pledging was going to come out. You know, like even these vignettes that are supposedly happening. I bet that doesn't last very long either.
$49 Americans, it's 40 US dollars playing in an arena where most of these games come out and they're free to play.
Yep.
Combine that with the political pushing. I mean, the internet is all over it. But like, dude, it's crazy. You look at like the PlayStation account leaping to the 5v5 fray with...
It was just so weird adding pronouns into the game. Like, you know, whatever you think about all that stuff, it was just so weird. Like, who sat down and thought like, right, let's do that in a first-person online shooter? You know, it doesn't really have a story. We have these characters and we'll do these little quirky weekly stories, but they don't really affect the game itself. It's not like an ongoing arc, so to speak. Let's add all that into it. It's just such a weird choice to do.
Play Concord. And like scrolling through, a whole 9 people are playing right now. Go.
I saw somebody put the game's got more pronouns than players. That cracked me up when I saw that. I thought that was a good one.
Broke. We could have had a SOCOM remake. I'm gonna like that bad boy right there. Isn't this a game
For
with
real.
ugly characters?
Could have had a SOCOM remake. We could have had freaking factions, but no, we got this instead.
Pronoun, like, dude, people are shitting all over this game.
And rightly so.
And then you look at the Steam charts here. 387 people playing right now at the time of recording this
Crazy
video.
how the dev,
And
that one dev went on the offensive as well.
697 players.
Suck it up, man. You win some, you lose some, you know?
A game that has been in development for 8 years, millions of dollars spent on.
Well, that it's been in development for 8 years. But then again, it does look like a game that's been in development for a while. Because one thing I'll give it props on is, you know, the facial animations on the characters in-game and in the cutscenes as well. Awesome. They look really good. Whoever worked on that side of the game, give that dude a pay rise, get him working somewhere else, because whoever that was doing that smashed it out the park with that, really.
On the Sony side, the development side, and we can't even crux 4-digit numbers.
Crazy.
That
absolutely
is
crazy.
Fucking insane to me.
Just like people at Sony have got to be thinking, man, we dropped factions for this, bro.
Videos on this game are insane. Concord already dead. Concord tanks hard. Dev melts down after
like Sony are really trying to push this, aren't they, on the Twitter page at the moment?
Where I had to go and verify the shit for myself. We have a developer who worked on Concord, and
yeah, I tried to go to the Twitter page. He's protected his tweets now, which isn't surprising. I did see that some journalists from like Forbes and stuff were like flabbergasted. They couldn't understand why the game wasn't doing well. And it's like, it's a generic game within a competitive space that's paid for, and then they've tried to push this extra shit into it that really wasn't needed just for somebody making themselves feel better and virtue signaling to the gaming space. It's like, and you're surprised that it's not doing very well. It's kind of crazy.
According to
it's like, get your head out your arse, you might understand
which, by
why.
the way, we can still see here, but their tweets are obviously protected. Well, because they said...
I literally went to check that last night. I saw the tweets, and I was like, let me just check this quickly, because I know for a fact, they're going to lock their Twitter down. And, you know, surprise, surprise, they have.
Dumb shit that gamers didn't really enjoy. So, pitchforks out. But they're a gameplay animator. They work at PUBG Studios now. They were previously on Concord. I don't know when they...
Dude, why is it all the people that tend to get super toxic towards the consumer base always have freaking pronouns in their bio? I've just noticed that. It's like we're like some of the VAs for Genshin and stuff. They go mental on Twitter, and then you look at the bio and it's like, okay. It's like this strong connection that seems to be there, and it's kind of weird.
Them left, but apparently, you know, they're no longer there. But they tweeted this out. It's Concord.
Well, let's face it, I don't think many people are going to be there for much longer, really, are they?
Release day. So insanely proud of the team and what they and we have accomplished. A labor of love like nothing else. Been playing it so much.
Which, like, I respect that. I understand how it must suck to work on something for years, to put your love and sweat into it, whatever you believe's right. And even if you're putting your own political ideas into it and you're trying to push that on people, I can understand how it must suck that it launches and it gets panned. You know, it gets absolutely panned and no one wants to touch it. It must, you know, it must suck. You know, your heart must drop. But then to go on the offensive because people have been critical of it, and they've been right, you know, had the right to be critical of it. At the end of the day, the consumers, and especially with things that have been tried to push into the game in a really competitive space, I think to just go mental and then start going at people is kind of like, it's not the best thing to do. It's definitely not professional anyway.
Much since early access started a few days ago, and I'm so excited for it to be available to everyone. So this was tweeted yesterday, in which obviously a gamer with numbers, it's Twitter, right? He came in, he says, I'm so sorry this has to be your first. I do not believe it is you or any of the devs' fault that this game has performed so poorly. I can tell that a lot of effort was put into completing this game.
One thing I'll say as well, we need to stop doing that. We always just blame management, which management are ones making the final decisions, the ones kind of like deciding where things go. But sometimes, you know, developers do like, you know, make mistakes and don't exactly give us the best thing as well. And I'm not saying that's the case here, but I've noticed that a lot. We always like to, you know, skip developers being at fault for anything and go straight to management. At the end of the day, they have the final choice. I get that. But it's not always just on those guys at the top sometimes. I think sometimes you have some suits that are just kind of like unaware of what's going on, and they're just like, you know what, whatever you guys think, because there's people speaking up to them who maybe, you know, bad PR, bad mid-management, bad directors, all that sort of stuff that are kind of giving them bullshit, and they're just like, yeah, man, this is the cool thing nowadays, right? Am I right, fellow 50-year-olds or something, you know?
It just came out at the wrong time and genre. And like, honestly,
but not taking away from a lot of the time it is that
there wasn't
those
a lack
people.
Of talent at the studio. It's not that this was a scam. It's that this game came out 8 years too late. It's like when they started working on it, that was the trend. And by the time it came out, gamers are just already over the magenta-colored arena shooters. A, $40. B, the fucking art style, the characters, the quirkiness. Like, we're tired of it. And then
I don't necessarily think that people are necessarily over the quirky magenta-colored arena shooters, because I think there's a lot of people in like the Overwatch space that are looking for those sort of games. I just don't think anything that's come out has really got up to that sort of level of Overwatch, really. You know, Overwatch have been making loads of mistakes, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who play that game regularly who are crying out for another game to fill that void for them that just nothing really has.
And on top of it, all the characters have pronouns. Gamers are getting sick and tired of these fucking outsider developers coming in and trying to force fucking identity politics and everything else.
Especially when it doesn't even need to be there. It's one thing when games have political identity. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, you know, tell a story within that realm. When you've just got a first-person shooter that's multiplayer only, it's like, what is that even in the game, man?
That's a whole other conversation. A lot of gamers aren't standing for it, and any game that does it, you're gonna fucking feel the wrath online. Adam Xander then responds, I don't really care. It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game. You could have just stopped it there. That would have been just the perfect. It's fine.
Perfect.
We busted
shows your
our
passion.
Ass. It is
and
what
it's
it
not
is.
a lie.
No. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I think you probably would. I think you probably would trade it for something. At least in terms of playing a game, that's for sure. And definitely in terms of its success. I'm sure you would have preferred it to do much better. And I'm definitely sure you could. There's plenty of other games out there that you'd trade it for as well.
Wait a minute.
But hey, you know, maybe not.
Gamers? No.
Never goes down well.
Talentless freaks. I actually came to drop some positive criticism, but get fucked. Clearly based on the game, you're the one with no talent. So, you know, it's going to spark a huge rigmarole.
I saw it as well. He was like hiding people's tweets and then saying pay $8 for me to unhide your tweet. It's like, dude, you know, if the game had done well, you wouldn't have had to do that.
So we know, obviously, I mean, their tweets are protected. Like, it's over. The harassment. And here's the shitty thing about it is, like, these kind of people will say anything they fucking want, but then when they get it back tenfold, they go and they hide. They protect their tweets. They lock their accounts.
Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do go too far. They do go too far in the stuff to say. There is a lot of people out there that will get incredibly antagonistic towards a community and then be like, oh, whoa, what happened here, man? You know, I was just poking the hornet's nest and then I got stung. Like, what is this?
Down. And like, a part of me understands it. The internet is an unhinged place to be. And it's, you know, for your mental health.
Unforgiving.
Fucking lock shit down. You don't need to see it. Move on. Fair enough. Where I want to focus on is the budget. How did we spend this much money on this fucking game? And that's what we have to show for it.
Was it right about, what is it, that people are estimating about $250,000 per person playing on Steam?
Sony's banking on a W in this space, because if this game were to blow up, they're raking in money. So it was a gamble, it was a bet, and from the looks of it, it's never going to fucking pay off.
Sony always just seem to miss the mark multiplayer-wise, don't they?
When it comes to multiplayer, take Helldivers 2 out of the equation. It's a PvE experience. I'm talking like competitive, you know.
Dude, how fire would a modern Killzone multiplayer be? Oh, SOCOM as well. Like, come on, man. It's like, you've got the IP. You had factions and you were like, nah, miss me with that shit. This is what I want. This is what I want. I'm even going to buy a studio to get it. Crazy.
PvP multiplayer. This is a place where Sony hasn't been in so many fucking years. Killzone? Resistance? SOCOM? Who the fuck needs it? Last of Us Factions?
Wild,
Concord?
that is. So wild that they drop factions.
644
after promising it for years as well.
Yeah. That's the money. Like, how fucking out of touch are all of these people
For
in
real.
this industry? From the moment we saw,
Which is so wild considering Sony and PlayStation seem to really get gamers when it comes to like AAA story games. It's like, how can they be like understand that part of the gaming space, but really not get the multiplayer space? You know, it's not like they're just totally separate from each other. I understand that, like, you know, the different games, the different types of games and different gamers play, but like the idea that you can understand this side of the gaming industry so well and release so many bangers, but then just totally not get the other side of the industry is so weird to me.
Concord, we knew it was going to be a flop. From the moment I played the beta that they had like a month ago where it was free, I knew it wasn't going to sell well. How does it get to that stage after 8 years in development where, like, is there nobody at the studio that can just like raise a hand and go, guys, I don't think this is going to work?
I think, though, I don't know, man. Maybe those are the sort of people where it's like, you know what, dude, collect your P45. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Jog on now. Listen to this guy here.
If they
Listen
would
to
have
this
taken
guy.
these characters in this world, in this environment, in this storytelling that they want to do with these cutscenes that are going to be releasing on a weekly basis, why didn't you actually make it a story game? I think a lot of people would have went for like a Guardians of the Galaxy, but not PlayStation, like storyline based.
Or if they were going to have, it doesn't have to be a single player game like that or a story based game in that regard to the traditional game. Have it heavily multiplayer, you know, on the multiplayer side of things, but have like do what Overwatch were going to do and people were crying out for, and make that in this game, make that a major part of the game so it does what Overwatch was going to do, and then have the multiplayer side of the thing anyway. So the story actually means something attached to the gameplay. And I think people would have been desperate for that because the Overwatch fans were desperate for some sort of like story-based co-op single-player sort of mode that was supposedly coming and then got dropped. Like they could have capitalized on that so hard, but just decided to ignore it. It's like that's again, like what are the people doing who are making the decisions? It's like they just don't seem to get multiplayer games at all and what people who play multiplayer games want from the games as well, even though there's been perfect examples, people screaming out from it from massive titles and then fucking up hard, and they're just going, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to carry on with this
space exploration experience. But the god honest truth is the game isn't unique in the slightest. It's about 8 or 9 years too late to the party. You're charging way too much money for what you're offering. And a lot of the complaints around the
I think, do you know what I've got to say as well? You've got like this vibrant hero shooter. The maps look like trash. And the characters really don't stand out that well against the maps either. That's one of the biggest complaints for me. Like when you're playing this sort of game, the map design and flow is just so ass in this game.
Pronouns and the he thems, the they thems, the he she's, whatever the fuck. The fact is the characters in the game don't really look that great. If you compare this to a Marvel Rivals, which is going to be coming out in December, a lot of people have been playing it. It is a free-to-play game. It is obviously an
still yet to play
franchise, which is
still
why
yet to
it's
play
going to have a player base.
It really does look like
doing
Overwatch.
Numbers, and a lot of people have had a lot of positive things to say about it. What is this
See,
game?
that says for me where when you know the idea that people don't want another one of those games, I think is kind of like not true, because I haven't played Rivals, but let's face it, it looks pretty similar to Overwatch. It's just set in the Marvel universe, which is, of course, going to help you. So I definitely do think people want those sort of games. They just want them done better than this, really.
Game bringing to the table, and I just like I feel
and as
like
well,
from
being
the
free is a
suits at the
massive
top that are
factor.
funding this bullshit to the developers that are working on it, has nobody asked, what is the fucking point of this game? But alas, here we are. Concord has released.
I don't blame some devs though, because at the same time, they're just cashing a check. They're just working. They're doing the thing that they love to do. It's something that they've planned to do all the whole life. Now they're doing it. They're going to be like, you know what? Hey, man, I'm just going to keep making this thing. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy coming to work. For them, it doesn't necessarily have to be the banger, does it? They just get to work on games. I guess for the resume, they're going to want games to be better that they've worked on. But at the end of the day, they're just doing their job, aren't they? Really, in that regard.
Search it up on YouTube. It is getting put through the fucking ringer. This title, I played Concord, so you don't have to. That is brutal. Grab the popcorn. You guys don't have to spend $40 to do this.
Do you know what? It's just going to get better as well. I can't wait to see the stuff that comes out with this game, because it's just like, it's just going to get better, isn't it, really? You know, there's going to be more of this because the game isn't going to go away anytime soon in that regard. Well, it is. But you know what I mean? We're going to be seeing the first DLCs that are coming out and the seasons and the pass and all that sort of stuff. And then the inevitable free-to-play that I'm expecting to happen is going to happen. And I'm curious to see how Sony are going to deal with this. What's their reply going to be in regards to how badly the game seems to be doing? And I'd love to know what the sort of numbers are on PlayStation as well.
Grab the popcorn, grab a drink, kick back, and just watch all of these videos.
Shit
you will
show.
get more entertainment than you would playing the fucking game with the other 300 people that are online right now. I mean,
dude, I bet the matchmaking's got to be insane as well, yeah. And then to take into that, you've got crappy matchmaking, which makes the experience even worse. And then you're going to be getting matched with people all over the world and not just in your region because there's going to be so little people playing it. The experience in regards to ping and lag is going to be terrible. And oh my God, I've just noticed that Gollum got more players on launch. That's insane. Or its all-time peak. That's insane.
This picture speaks volumes, dude. Gollum, the worst fucking game that I think released in the last 5 to 6 years, had more players playing at launch than Concord. If you want to talk about like a colossal failure from the ground up, from the day it started development to the fucking finish line, Concord is a colossal failure. Have you played Concord? Do you even give a shit?
Nope.
Let me know in the comments down.
Hey, if he goes free to play, I'm going to try it. I got to try it. I got to, you know? But I ain't touching that shit. I am not paying for this game. Not when, as I said, remove all the other stuff, you know, in terms of like the issues with the visuals, the map design, all the inserted pronoun bullshit, the characters just not looking that great. If the game was free, I'd try it out and you might be like, you know what? Okay, it's free. This was fun for a few hours. I'll give you its props. But for 40 quid, nah.
Below.
You can miss me with that. You can miss me with that.
Second channel. I wanted to do a little bit of a, not a reaction, but more of just an off-the-cuff discussion on this fucking game. Maybe this could go on the main channel, but I'm wanting to make this channel into more like reaction content, watching upcoming trailers, having discussions over the latest games, whereas my main channel is a little bit more edited, a little bit more polished. This is a lot more just raw dogging in front of the camera, no script, no nothing.
Nice yap
let
channel.
me know what you guys
nice
think of the
channel.
content so
like
far.
It.
Subscribe if you haven't done so already. My name is Big Fry. I'll catch you on the next one.
Oh. Good video. I do like me some Big Fry. Yeah, so I have to agree with everything he said in that video. Actually, you know, it's not like it's a hot take to agree with everything he said in the video either as well. You know, I really haven't been seeing anybody like particularly defending the game as well. Usually with these sort of games, it's usually somebody who pops their head up above the parapet and goes, okay, I get it. You know, I understand it, but game's actually all right. I really haven't seen that. Maybe there's just not enough people playing the game to even, you know, have that small minority of people who are having fun. But yeah, it's kind of weird to me that so many people have decided to review the game on Steam. It's like, what? Almost a quarter of the player base, or more than a quarter of the player base, well, over a third of the player base nearly, have reviewed the game that have played it at an all-time peak. That's a little bit odd to me. You know, that's just, I've never really seen those sort of percentages in regards to reviews, unless a game's just been like, well, absolutely panned, but they were mostly positive, weren't they? Which is just kind of a little bit odd, unless they're just so sort of trolly positive reviews where you actually look at it and it's somebody just roasting the game, but they put down that it's a positive review. I don't know. It's still kind of weird. But yeah, guys, you should check out Big Fry, or more Big Fry, his second channel. I do like his videos, actually, but yeah, Concord. Damn. It's not a surprise, though, is it? It is not a surprise.